Hello, everybody. Spider here, DeFi Car Podcast, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. We are on location once again inside the House of Jiu-Jitsu here in downtown San Antonio. My guest today is another local here in San Antonio, man. I've actually known the guy for years, Christ Kuntschik. Chris, man, how are you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, boss. Now, it is August 1st, and I just found that out looking at my phone. The fight time, man, it's upon us. You are fighting August 29th at Cowboys Dance Hall, man. How's that training going?
Training's going real good. I've had about an 8-week camp going on, but I was probably training a lot beforehand. So it's probably more like 12 weeks altogether.
Now, let me ask you this, and I'm glad you brought that up. When you guys train, obviously, and there is a fight, you guys pick up the pace, or how do you differ mindset-wise?
I just kind of dial in and get focused. To be honest, I've been part of a few of the other guys' fight camps over the past year or two. So I've been really just training hard consistently. For me, it was just more changing the mindset to, okay, now we're about to go in and actually fight rather than amp up my training or anything. I train hard all the time.
No, for sure. And the fact that you actually help other guys locally, man, I mean, that actually helps your game as well. I mean, you're getting a lot more training, seeing different aspects of the fight game. How much have you evolved over the years, bro?
Oh, man, I'm always evolving. When I first started really competing regularly, I was more just maybe a jiu-jitsu guy. I look for the takedown. I'm not scared to punch or anything. But over the last 4 or 5 years, man, I've evolved to a complete fighter. I have decent wrestling. I have good ground game. My boxing is pretty nice. So I've evolved pretty good.
No, for sure. You see, and the fact that you brought up boxing, man, you've actually been training with Mitman. Now, tell us about the guy.
Oh, man, Joe, he's like a legend. He's been training guys all over San Antonio for years, whether it be boxers, kickboxers, MMA fighters. He's really came in and developed his own style, too, of training different fighters. He really knows how to, tap into the athlete's mind, you know?
Oh, for sure, and that's a good thing because, I mean, you can't teach everybody the same. Obviously, different sizes, different weight classes, but, I mean, I'm sure he looks at your stance, your striking, and kind of goes from there.
Yeah, exactly. One thing he's really been working with me on is trying to use, more footwork, more pivoting, things like that, because sometimes I tend to get a little brawly and try to stand in front of someone, and I'll move a little bit, but he's really trying to tighten it up and get me moving all over the place.
No, for sure, and that's more of a vandalist style kind of. You stand in front and you start swinging type, man.
Yeah, exactly. I grew up in the shoot box era, you know, so.
Yeah. And, I mean, of course, back then it made sense. You know,
yeah.
Everybody looked up to Vandalay, but, I mean, the sport has evolved. The fact that you're bringing up, boxing clinics, man, it's just technique that is there, but a lot of fighters don't use, man. I mean, why do you think that is?
To be honest, I'm not sure why people really don't utilize just straight boxing training a lot more. I'm pretty sure because they're focused on kicking and using all the other tools. But for me personally, I just feel like boxing is, top 2 or 3 workouts you can do to get you in shape for a fight.
No, you know what? And that's true, man, because like I said, there's a science. I mean, there's something behind it. It's not just like a hit, throw a jab. I mean, you look at guys like Mayweather, you look at guys like Canelo. I mean, it's a whole different animal. Everybody fights differently, but it makes sense for you to move around and not let your opponent hit you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this fight coming up, and it is for the Fury Fighting Championship. It is in San Antonio, which is here locally. August 29th, man, Cowboys Dance Hall. You have fought at Cowboys Dance Hall before.
Yeah, I fought at Cowboys a few times. I want to say one. I don't remember the first promotion I did, but I think at Cowboys I fought with Fury as well.
Okay.
There was a couple other smaller promotions that I think I fought at Cowboys.
No, yeah, well, Premier Fight Group was one of them in the amateur circuit. I mean, Cowboys Dance Hall has been the go-to place to host.
Oh, I love that place.
No, yeah, and the fact that you'll be at home, I mean, you're going to feel comfortable. Is the fact that it's going to be on UFC Fight Pass going to kind of make you nervous, or are you not even worried about that?
Too much. I'm not really concerned about that. I've been on a couple different streams, never UFC Fight Pass or anything like that, but I'm actually one of the first fights on the main card, so I'm not sure if my fight will actually make Fight Pass, so I'm not really thinking about that, to be honest.
No doubt, man. I mean, I hope it is, because I mean, you guys get in this exposure, man. Of course, it opens doors. Now, FURYFC, I mean, Eric Garcia, man, he had momentum going. The minute he got picked up by the UFC Fight Pass, got on board, it kind of upped the game now, because lately, man, I've been seeing everybody that's on that card, and everybody's training crazy, dude. Cross training, training Sundays. I mean, it's just, I mean, it leveled up everybody's fight game, man. So is that what it did to you as well?
Yeah, exactly. I get cross training as well. Like I said, I go and I train with Mitman. I train with Ray Rodriguez at Ultimate Submission Academy. With Eric and the UFC Fight Pass, it's made a lot of guys really, really hungry, and everyone wants to fight. And coming out of COVID, Now really everyone is really chomping at the bit to get a fight, and everyone out there is dangerous. Yeah. I don't care if 1-0, 0-0, 0-1. Everyone out there is dangerous, so you got to really be grinding.
No, for sure, man. And I'm kind of glad you brought that up also, man, because like you said, I mean, right now, it opened up this year, and I mean, promotions opened up, and of course, Texas opened up. But I mean, it's like everybody had to wait a year to get a fight. So everybody's been at home or at the gym training, or getting whatever they can. But now that it's open, like, everybody's trying to get on these cards, and so a lot of people are driving outside the state to get on cards because promotion wise, there's only two big pro promotions here in Texas.
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you this, man. I mean, you brought up the fact that you've been training with Ray Rodriguez, in Ultimate Submission Academy. Yesterday, you guys were out there. I mean, you had Richard Odoms. You had a lot of guys that are on this card. How cool is it that you guys are able to, cross-train like that?
Oh, man, it's really, really good having guys like Richard Odoms and all the guys from other gyms that come out there. When people see that, everyone gets DMs. They're like, hey, when y'all doing that again? When y'all doing that again? And so we get a bunch of different looks from different guys. So it's good.
No, for sure, man. I mean, I'm definitely rooting for you, man. You are local. I know you're fighting a tough guy from South Texas. Now, when it comes to credentials, man, you're a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes, sir.
Now, that's not to take away from the years and years of training you've been at this. I mean, more than likely, you'll get your black belt eventually. Now, your opponent is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Does that play with your mind thumb? I mean, are you worried about that?
As far as mindset, not really. I train with a bunch of black belts. Ray Rodriguez is a black belt. Justin Governal is a black belt. In MMA, it's a little different. It's not a straight jiu-jitsu match, so I think I have pretty good techniques to alleviate whatever he's going to bring, No,
definitely, man. Now, the fact that you brought up your training partner, man, Justin, I mean, he actually fought your upcoming opponent, man. Have you guys talked about his game plan?
Yeah, me and Justin, we discussed it a little bit here and there, but we know how I fight. We know how he fights, and the plan is just basically to go and execute and fight the way I fight. It's the perfect clash of styles.
And how do you see that, man? I mean, without throwing your fight game plan out, but I mean, like you said, you're different fighters. Mm-hmm. Are you ready to take it wherever it goes, man? If it takes it to the ground, are you ready for that? Stand up, you ready?
Oh, most definitely. I have good attacks off my back. I have good sweeps, especially in MMA. Like, to be honest, I think my MMA jiu-jitsu is a lot better than my sport jiu-jitsu, or just it's different when there's punching and emotion and everyone's moving. Like, I'm pretty confident off my back, and on the feet, I'm always confident, and my wrestling's good too. So wherever the fight goes, I'll be ready.
No, definitely, man. Now, the fact that you brought up your jiu-jitsu, man, you actually fought before this last year, maybe before the whole COVID thing incident happened. This was in South Texas with Ricardo Palacios' promotion.
Oh, yeah.
Now, on that fight, you actually got a submission victory?
Yeah. I won by Kimura. What really did it was a switch kick to the body. and it hurt him or hurt his rib, and whenever we went to the ground, he was pretty much done. And by the time I yanked the arm, he was tapping. But yeah, I won by Kimura. I think all my wins are by first round submission. All of them armbar.
Yeah, and I mean, that says a lot because you do like to stand up. Now, let me ask you, when it comes to stuff like that, I always ask grapplers, I always ask wrestlers, like, is it an instant that kicks in? I mean, if you see an opening, do you automatically just go with it, or do you go in there thinking, okay, I'm going to wait for him, go for the takedown?
Yeah, no, all my fights kind of start on the feet. If I see an opening, I definitely I'm that guy that has that reaction to take the takedown if I see it. But I've also been working on that because too many times I'll be winning the stand-up battle and decide to take it to the ground or things like that. So I really been kind of just working on staying dialed in and focusing on what's in front of me.
No, definitely, man. Now let me ask you, bro. As far as for this fight coming up, who's going to be working your corner?
To be honest, I haven't even thought about that yet. I have so many options I can choose from. It came up in conversation real quick yesterday with someone, and I was like, man, to be honest, I haven't even thought of it.
Now, all you're doing is basically training, man. So that's all your mindset.
That's it, man. I go to work. I just think about the fight, by the time I'm clocking out, I just have like this tunnel vision. Like I have to go and I have to take care of this. I have to take care of that, and then we train, we eat, we sleep, we do it all over again. Pretty monotonous.
No. I mean, I can only imagine, bro. I mean, the fact that you guys are a month away and you've been training before this, just getting ready for something to come up. Now, weight class. What weight class is this at?
This is 135 pounds.
And as far as like come fight week, how many pounds do you usually cut?
Not too bad when I'm ahead of the game. Right now I'm a little ahead of the game, but the week of the fight I'll probably cut 8 pounds maybe.
That's not too bad.
8 pounds by the end of the week, maybe 10. Yeah, it's not too bad. I wake up in the morning. I usually sit in the sauna for like maybe 4 or 5 pounds, and then I'm good.
So just water weight
I'm
basically
good.
at the end. Now, the fact that you're fighting locally, man, that has to be good. I mean, you don't have to drive 3-4 hours to go to weigh-ins. You don't have to sleep somewhere else. I mean, you get to sleep at home and wake up the next day. Does that help you guys out as a fighter?
Oh, definitely. We just get to go and weigh in, eat what we like, go home, do our thing, and get up, and that's it.
Now, being that it's a fight game and the mentality has to be strong, man. I mean, has there ever been a point where you show up to a fight and you don't feel it mentally and it affected you in the fight?
On numerous occasions, and I've really focused on these last couple of years. Really, I've mentioned this a couple times already. Just staying dialed in, and I'm just gonna execute. Like I think about too many stuff that doesn't even matter outside the cage. So the plan, you just stay dialed in. That's it.
Now, hopefully, by the time fight week comes, man, you are gonna have a corner set up.
Definitely.
Now, when it comes to that, man, and you're fighting, I mean, how hard is it for you to focus on one voice rather than 100 people yelling and your coaches, your opponent's coaches yelling?
I pretty much know the voices of all my coaches. I kind of know what job in my corner. I know what each coach's job is.
Right.
So I can, in my mind, if I'm in the stand-up, I can pull, Washington's voice. If I'm on the ground, I'll probably be hearing Jason. If I'm in like a scramble or like some kind of just some kind of MMA scramble going on. I'll hear Ray, or I'm sure I'll hear like Justin, but Justin's fighting at night. But just whoever's in my corner, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. No, and it's important, man, like you said, because a lot of times, even in like say sports jiu-jitsu, you hear your opponent's coach saying, get the arm, and you hear it and you kind of like defend it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's kind of funny, man. Or you actually attack and go with something else.
Exactly.
So, now, earlier you brought up combat jiu-jitsu and sports jiu-jitsu as far as like your mindset. I mean, there is a difference, of course. In sports jiu-jitsu, there's no striking, there's no slamming, there's a lot of like non-physical stuff when it comes to judo. Now, have you competed in sports jiu-jitsu, and how long ago was that?
Yeah, I've competed in a few IBJJFs. I haven't competed in an IBJJF maybe since last year's Austin Open, maybe. But I've been doing, like, during COVID, I did a lot of those super fights. I was a late replacement on Who's Number One. I did a bunch of the submission hunters. You know, I had good showings in a couple of them, but I didn't get the results I wanted. But it's different, you know. Sport jiu-jitsu is different, you know.
No, for sure, man. And the fact that you're an MMA guy, I mean, you guys strike, you guys get hit. Mm-hmm. When it comes to something like that, I mean, you kind of have to think and say, okay, yeah, I can't elbow the guy, or I can't knee the guy. You kind of.
No, I don't have to pull myself from punching, but there's things like grappling-wise in MMA that you might be able to get away with, you know, putting a foot here or there, or placing your hand here, and it's just not gonna work like that. Those little nerdy, lanky guys, they're gonna tap you out, you know.
No, for sure, man. Now, bro, I do thank you, man. It is Sunday, bro, and I dragged you out here, so thank you for stopping by, man. I'm gonna cut this short, but is there anybody you want to thank for this, bro? Sponsors, teammates?
Nah, man. I just want to thank everyone that's been around this whole time. You know, Ohana Academy, all my coaches over there, Jason Urington, Washington Lewis, all my friends over at Ultimate Submission Academy, Ray Rodriguez, Justin Governor, Pat Ferguson, Eddie Fryer, like all those guys, man. Every single body that's ever been, you know, part of my camps or anything, or helped me along, that's who I want to thank.
No, for sure. And real quick, I forgot, man. The tickets, you don't have them on hand right now.
I'll have the tickets Monday. You can actually buy them through the link already and just choose my name as the fighter you support. But I'll have a bunch of general admission tickets on Monday.
Okay, and I had asked you earlier to bring some, man. What I'm going to do on behalf of our sponsor, FightStocks.com, I'm going to buy one ticket from you.
Okay, I appreciate that, man.
No, for sure, man. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and raffle it out. On this episode, on this YouTube, all we're going to ask is for your friends and family to subscribe.
Okay.
On the comments, just put your name, and I'd say by next weekend, next Saturday, we'll go ahead and post the winner.
Okay, cool, man. That sounds good.
Not a problem, man. Once again, man, I do thank you, bro. Till next time, and we're going to follow up.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. It's good to be here. Good to see you, bro.
Yes, sir. Now, for everybody listening up, this is the Fight Card Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow up.